Okay, so I'll introduce this for the potential future people who are watching it. So this is Kira, and Kira comes to us from WeWork in Russia, and today we're going to explore the topic of community management with Kira. So before we get started, maybe we can let Kira introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Kira. I actually live and work in New York. So I am mostly from WeWork in New York. I just helped to launch WeWork in Russia because I'm originally from Russia and it was my passion project. So I've been with WeWork for 4.5 years. And before that, I participated in launching a hotel in New York City. And before that, I was just studying economics. So,
I see. Okay, that's actually pretty amazing. You said you launched a hotel in New York.
not by myself,
Okay.
but like I joined the hotel on the first day it opened. And the owners, they just moved completely to build the second hotel. So I was the only one who actually cared about what's going in the one which they opened already.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we just had, and the whole team was very new. Nobody ever worked in the hotel industry. So we all had to learn on the go.
Got it. Got it. I see that your background is actually in business, and oh, well, but you also have a certification in hospitality. Like, how did you find yourself into like WeWork and into this role of community management?
Mhm. Well, um, first, I really wanted to move to hotel management. So hotels were always like a Disneyland for me. I really liked the environment there, and um, when I graduated from my university, everybody was going to banking and stuff, and I was never even thinking really that I can do that, what I like. But when I moved to New York City, so I thought I'm just gonna also change my career. So I really wanted to do hotel management. But
Okay.
after I worked for hotels, I realized it's 24/7. It's a 24/7 work, and I learned about WeWork, and a lot of my friends started working for WeWork, and it's really big in New York City.
Uh-huh.
And I just joined WeWork, and I found my balance there, and I just enjoyed it a lot because it was a growing company.
Got it. Okay. That's fantastic, actually, and really, really fascinating too. I see that you started at WeWork in community operations, and you were also involved in new market opening. And I saw during the course of your career, you moved a few times between New York and Moscow. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about like what that transition was like, because I'm really fascinated with the idea of like using community to actually grow operations and such. And it seems like you were kind of involved in both sides of it, in business development and also community.
Mhm. Um, so I will just give the full disclosure because the title community manager is extremely confusing and I think misleading because
Ah,
community manager in a WeWork world is like a general manager for the hotel. So it's the top manager for a particular building. So as for this building, your building is your asset and you're responsible for everything that's going on in there, like P&L and L and the team and the sales and happiness of the existing members as well.
uh,
So, um, and before that operations manager, I was actually, that's one step below. Before, I was just focusing on operations before I was in charge of the community management team. Or so before I became community manager, and then I already have my team, and I have my operations lead who is now managing all operations for the building, and I'm just managing the team.
I see. Okay.
So I'm now working with recruiters, and they're just like it's so confusing. This title is extremely confusing.
Do you think that term community management is going out of fashion?
I think that community manager at WeWork and community manager at some other companies are two completely different roles with completely different functions. So to be completely honest, I'm not that good, maybe not that good at building community. I am all about making individual people happy, and happy people tend to create community themselves.
Now that's an interesting topic, actually. So we've spoken to a few community managers inside Uber, WeWork, Airbnb, and we spoke maybe with your colleague Natalie Bonato. She was also formerly at Airbnb, and I believe she worked in the Latin America. Um, no, wait, I think she worked in London for WeWork actually,
Mhm.
and there's this convergence in philosophy that like a happy community creates itself. Um, what
Mhm.
what would you like to offer on that one? Like, what's your philosophy on the timeline of a community? Like, where should it begin? Where should it grow? And where should it eventually become once it's healthy?
Um, well, I will only talk about WeWork
Uh,
because that's what I know. And I, for a long time, even at WeWork, the idea was that you throw the events and then you build the community and then everybody comes and they start talking and everything. But there are people who will not want to come to events, and who not don't want to talk to other people, especially in New York City. There are like no time for that. So what I think was working really is that the community team on site, our team, who was always um, customer face, non-stop. And if you're making friends with them, and you can then introduce, because then all of them become friend of a friend. So, and then if both of them stopped by at the front desk, and now you introduce them, and they're like now both a friend of a friend, and they tend to start talking to each other.
okay, interesting. So your idea, this sounds like it's coming from a hospitality route. So service and offering hospitality becomes a way of generating a community around itself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, because if it's a happy person, it's relaxed. It knows that all of his issues are resolved. It's not like a survival mode. It's or like I need you to finally fix my problems mode. It's like I know I'm relaxed here. I trust this place, and now I can go and talk to other people. Like it's from this positive place, like this openness
And,
comes out.
and to expand on that, Kira, what do you believe actually enforces or helps develop those feelings of positivity, trust, and and friendliness? Is there anything that like we work or you do on your side to enhance those feelings?
Well, I've been thinking about it, and also I've been thinking about my experience in the hotel in New York City when my whole team was just young kids. They were really passionate about what they've been doing. And both there and at WeWork especially, our team there is not their servants. We are their partners. And as much as they want to solve the issues to be solved, we want them also to be solved. And that actually allows us honest conversation, like telling them, listen, I cannot do it. As much as I want to do it, I cannot. And this is why. And this is what we can do. And I had so many top conversations with like the top companies, and you can talk, and you always find this um, understanding.
Mm.
While if you were like a robot before, that's probably would be hard to then switch this conversation in a different mood of distrust and openness.
Okay, that's actually fairly interesting. Oh, Kira, let me introduce Rafik. Rafik's also one of our community managers here at Bukit Vista and joining us today. And Kira is the person we're doing professional networking with at the moment. This is actually pretty fascinating. I'd like to actually explore more on this particular thread, which is this idea of you're there to be a partner and not a servant. I think a lot of when we assign a lot of new people to community management and they're dealing with, let's say, a property owner who's older and probably more wealthy and comes from maybe a generation where they expect service, I think the default approach is to sort of treat these people like they're on a pedestal and that they are, they're the owner, they're the boss. But I think the evolution of taking that relationship and making it more like a partnership is highly refined. And when you're working with young people, did you see any challenges in developing a partnership relationship rather than like a servant relationship?
No.
Okay.
Well, at WeWork, it's just a very young atmosphere. And actually, I was working at few buildings downtown, and downtown is a financial district. So there are a lot of like suits. So for them, I think sometimes WeWork would be too hip. But if you're holding yourself professional but friendly, that also shouldn't be a problem. At my hotel, actually, that was very interesting situation when my team, the two guys, they just really created this rapport with this traveler from Texas. And when the thing happened, then his girlfriend didn't come home from one evening, and he couldn't connect with her. This guy was just sitting the entire day with my team, with these two guys, and they were just he was an older guy too, so he found my team could provide this comfort to him because they already created this friendly relationship with him. The girlfriend then showed up 24 hours later, but that wouldn't be possible if they didn't create this friendship before that. This guy probably would sit in his hotel room being devastated, right?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think there is probably a group of people who would want being treated to be put on a pedestal, but maybe because they just didn't see another approach. Maybe they would love another approach. They just never experienced it in Four Seasons or Ritz or anywhere else.
Got it. Okay.
Everybody wants to feel younger. Isn't that true?
Interesting. Okay, that's actually an interesting dimension that young service helps you feel younger. Okay, all right. That's I think the W Hotel took on that approach where they created a very hip setting and they were able to help people feel younger through that. Okay, all right. That's fairly cool. Let me just go over really quickly to Rian. Rian, any questions or comments on your side so far for Kira?
So the only question is, I think it's more like we know that in WeWork you work as a community manager, which will manage people around the building, just around the building. I just want to know how big is the scope? Like it means that you work with a team, right? So you work with a team, you handle the team. It's like I just curious how you handle the team, like within the team, just within the building, and how did you manage to get them to engage with all of your especially if you have a product. So how you get your team, or how you get people within the building to get involved and get engagement on your every single initiative that you have.
Mm-hmm. Well, so it all starts with the right people. Um, Ryan, can you just? I'm sorry. Yeah, think. I just could hear myself, and I found it so weird.
I just could hear myself, and I found it so weird.
Start with the right people.
Right people.
That's weird. There's a echo.
Sorry.
That's weird. There's an echo.
Yeah, I hear that. I can hear your voice clearly, Kira. Could you please? I beg your pardon.
Ryan, can you just mute yourself?
Ryan, can you just mute yourself?
Oh yeah, sure.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, it starts with the right people, right? So it's WeWork is going through a crazy process to find the best people. We only hire if the entire team is happy about this person. You know, if there is any doubts, then we just decide, like, we just better not to proceed with the candidate. Then as a manager, when I moved to this community, when I moved to the manager position, now my role is to like make some decisions, but also to take care of my team. Because if my team is happy, they take care of everything else, right? So if I have upset customer or I have upset team member, I go and I prioritize upset team member, because that team member will then take care of the upset customer. So this is how it works. And that's the whole secret. I don't see any other secrets to that, to be honest. I mean, it's about operations or like some specific tasks, then it's just some management skills, like giving the proper tasks, tools, clear deadlines, and so on. But that's a skill you can just develop.
Okay, so it means that you're trying to build the team from the very first, from the very beginning. Let's say from the time when you hire them. So it means that you have to make sure that they will what let's say, will align with the company. But my next question is like, and how do you measure that? Is there any other method on how to measure like how you hire like the right team? Because here in Bukit Vista, we work with the company, and actually most of the community managers start from HR or as a reservation team before. So I just want to know how does it work in WeWork?
I don't know. So, well, in the interview, you can feel like this is just a spark and everything. I also think that there are introverts and extroverts, right? But still, the joy from giving to people, from helping people, this goes both with extroverts and introverts, you know? So, and you can have both of them. You can, it depends on the team. For example, if you have a team, like I would always want to have a bubbly person on my team who just enjoys just talking to everybody, but I don't need everybody like that on my team. I just need everybody who cares about other people and enjoys and natural givers and caretakers. That's all I care about. So I don't know. You can develop this, to be honest. This is just given in people.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for the questions. Let's go over to Rafik. Rafik, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Kira at the moment?
Good morning from Bali, Kira. So sorry a bit late because my alarm is ringing for 20 time and I just woke up. And I just have one question for you, Kira, regarding the partner relationship. So you have like many partners in your work, and also the question is how you classify your partner. For example, this partner is, I'm sorry to say, is easy to touch, and this one is hard to touch, and like that. So how you classify that one and how you handle that one. So for example, the hard one must be this person, the easy one is must be this person. How you classify that one, Kira? Thank you.
Definitely, I had some. When you say partners, I understand that these are like clients, right? Or
Yes,
okay,
yes. Yeah.
so yes. So there are some that definitely were a bunch of clients who would always be unhappy, but just never take it personal. Never take it personal. You're doing your job, and in the end, you're being paid to take care of, including these people. And at WeWork, I don't know about other industries. At WeWork, we mostly had amazing clients, but statistically, it's impossible that every single client is going to be awesome. So statistically, there will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that will give you a lot of complaints and will take a lot of your time. So then you just accept it as a given and just work with them. I don't have any other any advice.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Kira. The thing that I was wondering about was I noticed that you had worked in Russia and then you had worked in New York, and I'd imagine those are different culturally and different environments. What sort of commonalities could you see between working in different countries, and what is entirely different with working with people from these two cultures, and what is always the same?
It's a good question. Tricky. Right. So let's say you have a very upset client, and he comes to you and he starts like expressing this negativity, and everybody reacts the same to the friendly response. To the genuine, desire to help them.
Hmm.
So, I mean, friendliness. When you travel around the world, you make friends with everybody. Everywhere you make friends, wherever you would go. And the same will work in the industry. Like you go to New York City and you make friends with your members. You go to Moscow and you make friends with your members.
Mhm.
The different thing was that but this just like very company specific. In Moscow, the prices were like in New York City.
Okay.
So although the level of I don't know, like life level we call it, is lower. So
Standard of living.
yeah.
Okay.
So they had very high expectations, and in New York City, for example, people email. And most of people call you. They call you your personal cell phone. If it's like morning, if it's evening, and it's very hard because you cannot track anything. And at the same time, they don't have any boundaries. So you do not want to respond at 7. Maybe if for you it's gonna be weird, but we work from 9 to 6, and it's very like we try to keep this balance. So like if somebody calls me at 7 or 8, I don't want to pick it up anymore.
Got it.
So. But I didn't see any major differences, to be honest.
Okay. Interesting. I've heard some legendary WeWork company practices. I remember Adam Newman used to have like actually, well, a few of my friends went over to WeWork, and they would have like employee gatherings in New York, right, in upstate New York. They would do a camp. Um, what sort of programs did you see at WeWork that helped develop the internal employee community? Like what was WeWork doing to make it make WeWork an awesome place to work?
If I had to answer that, I was a big fan of Adam Newman,
Uh-huh.
and he had a very strong personality. So we would have this company meeting. company meetings. Then we would talk. We would have regular all company meetings. It would be from in the beginning. It would call TGIM. It would be every Monday after work. We would get together, would have dinner, and we would listen to some business updates. Then it moves. Then it will be like city-wide, right? Then we would have every 1 or 2 months would have all company meetings when the whole company is tuning in. Over like if you can go in person, you go in person in New York City. Others would tune in into Zoom. So you always feel like you're one. You're not like 5 people managing one building. You're really a part of much bigger thing. And Adam Newman can also really sell this idea, the mission. And I think they would say we were Kool-Aid or something, but it was awesome to work in this environment because Airbnb, WeWork, they were all game changers, and you know it. You don't even need to explain to the team like who is working for you. You're a game changer. You're changing for the entire world the situation. So. What others? So yes, so you always need to always stay connected, right? If you have, if you can connect in person, connect with Zoom or with this program, then give them a bigger picture, so do not hide some business plans, just help everybody to understand the bigger picture, that they're not just like hosting events for the building. The company is growing, the company is now helping Japan with their like overworking and stuff. So you just really have attachment to something much bigger.
Purpose. There's a sense of ongoing purpose and global purpose.
Yes. In one word, yes.
I like that. I do agree with what I've seen in the startup industry. When I was working at Airbnb, I would say that I never thought a workplace could actually be so fulfilling because of all the feeling that you're not just doing this, that your brothers and sisters are doing this everywhere, all over the place, right, all at the same time, and that connection is fairly magical. And I watched Adam go from beginning to top, and then sort of like where he is now. Okay, interesting company culture inside. And what do you do these days? Like, how do you keep yourself busy in the present tense?
So I left WeWork about a month and a half ago, I think already.
Mm-hmm.
So I am now thinking about where do I want to go next. I want to join another like a kind of established startup, like mission-oriented company with a good team, because that's like a blessing and a curse, right? Because after you work with a great team with a great mission, now your job limits, like your job options limit itself very, very much. So you cannot work anywhere else. You need to work in some similar environment. So I'm just trying to figure out for myself right now.
Okay, got it. I totally agree with you there. I think once you've gone and done something really, really important, it's almost impossible to step back and work on things that are specious or trivial anymore. So, all right, cool. Let's go around for another round of questions. See if anybody else has anything to ask. Over to Rafik.
All good, sir. I already get the point from Kira.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Let's go to Rian.
Yeah.
I think it's all good as well from me, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll just go with the last one then, Kira. So if you had like one word to summarize what makes effective community management, what word would that be?
caring.
Okay. All right. And why?
Well, I mean, like in any job, you just really need to care about what you do. And it's, but in this thing, it's also caring about others, caring about, in your case, it's guests, in our case, it's our members, caring about your team. I actually we have a VP of community in New York, and he was so awesome. He's one of my favorite people. And he said that we have cleaning personnel at cleaning team. So, for example, in my building, I would have 5 people on my team, but the cleaning team will be 15 people. So there were much bigger actually teams, and there were at some point WeWork employees working 8 to 12, 8 a.m. to midnight. So he said that he went and he worked both shifts, morning and night, with them, because he said, if I'm going to make decisions which can affect their lives, I want to know what their life is, like what their work life is. So it's like really, really caring about who you're working for and who you're working with. And because if you really care about who you're working with, they will they will care about all others as well.
Definitely. Definitely. I think that is the very core of hospitality as well. And
No, yeah. That's not, nothing new, right?
okay.
Because it's the truth.
No, absolutely, absolutely. If you've experienced it 1,000 times, then it starts converging the truth around how people behave. Well, Kira, thank you so much for generously sharing, and I'll stop the recording now. I think that was awesome.